Hey guys, welcome to Crowning Judas. My name's Ashley. I like to start off my episodes by giving a disclaimer that a lot of the things that I talk about could be triggering to some people. So if at any point you need to pause, leave, come back, please do so. But today's episode is called Life is Looking Up. If you haven't seen any of the other episodes, my son has asked me to start naming the episodes after the track lists from our favorite album, Razia's Shadow. It is a concept album by Forgive Durden. And this album is very interesting because it gives like a, let's see, how do I explain it? It gives a very journey-esque arc to it. It's a musical. It has, some pretty big names to it, but if you go and listen to it, the concept is really interesting. It talks about, the scientist and how he is essentially God. And, they come in and they're building these lamps essentially. And so I wanted to kind of direct this episode towards light and lamps. And then the next episode is going to be the spider and the lamps. So I thought that I would kind of lay the foundation with this episode. So what does it mean for life to be looking up? So in my lived experience, looking up doesn't necessarily mean hope or optimism or that things and situations are getting better necessarily. But it's structural clarity. It's that bigger picture that you have when you're able to see things from a more macro lens, I guess. You're able to see the systems of things versus the stories and how things hurt you. When life is looking up, you start looking at things in a way that you're not reharming yourself with the stories. You're not rehashing old wounds, and I guess you can kind of see God's hand in things. And so while I was preparing for this episode, I found the verse John 8:12, and I don't have it memorized, so I'm just gonna read it. But let's see. This is not the one that I had ready to go. But while I'm preparing that, there's a couple different verses. So if you're new, Crowning Judas is kind of my journey and how it's kind of brought me back to my faith. But my journey it started as like a very esoteric practice, and now it's a very just close relationship with God. I don't subscribe to any specific religion, but all of the things that I've experienced, I've been able to tie back to the Bible and to God. So John 8:12 says, Jesus spoke to the people once more and said, I am the light of the world. If you follow me, you won't have to walk in the darkness because you will have the light that leads to life. And so when I read this, what hit me first was that first there's the light and then there's the movement. And so when you invite Jesus into your life, whenever you recognize that, Jesus died for our sins and that there is, I guess, no other way to salvation other than through Jesus Christ. And so, I have gone through too much to preach to anybody, but I did want to share that part because I personally have had, experiences with, I had a DWI in 2022, which turned into a whole slew of chaos, essentially, reputational harm, slander, defamation. On the flip side, there's also been, stalking and harassment and 9 different moves over 3 years. And so through that, I have that lived experience that there should be chaos and stress and this feeling of just overwhelm. But through my faith, I've been able to see God's hand in all of it. I've been able to see how God's working through me in order to be the light for others. And so that leads me to my second scripture that I found. And this one I feel like is more well known, but it's Psalms 119, verse 105. Your word is a lamp to guide my feet and a light for my path. And I know there's different versions, but the thing that I think is really interesting is that when you start looking at being the light, you're also a mirror. And I think I've shared that previously where, when you start healing and working on your wounds, your traumas, you end up being a mirror for other people. And depending on their level and willingness to kind of like work on their own stuff, work on their own issues and wounds, um, it's it's either going to go really well and you're going to be inspirational and motivational, or you're going to trigger them and they're going to project a lot of their issues and insecurities onto you, which is something that I've personally experienced in many of my relationships. But being that light, I guess it was a few months ago, I had written this excerpt, this babble about being both the storm and the lighthouse. But the thing about that is you're not a lighthouse on your own. You have to have that light, obviously, to be able to guide others back to shore. And so what's really cool is that when I stopped seeking answers, and started, I guess, recognizing that God's going to bring you the answers when you're ready at the right time, I started noticing little patterns and little synchronicities, and things started clicking for me. And now I can't find it. Here it is. So the thing that I think is the coolest about this journey is that signs and synchronicities and things that God sends you are all around you. All you have to do is notice it. And so a few years ago, I had gone to Disney with my high school, and I had gotten a whole bunch of trading pins. Excuse me. And so I guess back in 2021, I also went with my kids and gained more trading pins, and I kind of put them away. Well, what was really cool is that I don't remember why I was looking for them, but I ended up finding all my trading pins, and I got interested in them. I have ADHD, and so I hyper fixated on them. And I had them laying out on my counter, and I thought that it was really interesting that I had like 3 different Tangled pins, because Tangled isn't really, a movie that I particularly cared for. And I ended up getting a sign. I was looking at the lamp that Rapunzel's holding, and it had the sun on it. The sun is the sigil for their house. And so I thought it was cool. I kind of put them away, and then I had to go race to get my son to his physical therapy appointment, and then, run all my errands. And so while we're waiting in the car, my son's like, "Oh, hey, Mom, one of your charms, fell back here." And he gave it to me same day. And it was the sun from Tangled. It was a sun charm that I had bought at a store, and just happened to be in my back seat. And it's the exact same sun that's on the trading pin that I found that exact same day. And I don't believe in coincidence. So there was that one, the lamp. And then while I was looking at that, the Pixar lamp that goes with the Pixar ball, I had the ball and the lamp. And for some reason, I was just really drawn to this lamp. And I was sharing that with my friend. And that same day, they were looking at something for their work and came across a logo for their work that is almost exactly the same as the Pixar ball. And so little things like that, like when you open your eyes, you really have to sit and pray on what the meaning is. But there's little God winks, I guess, whenever you go through your life to let you know that you are on the right path, that things are connected. That's not the only time that my friend and I have connected the Pixar ball and the lamp. And when I got ready for this episode, it really made me think about why I was so connected to this lamp. And really with the lamps, it's guiding your way, it's guiding your steps. It's helping you see what's in front of you so you don't carry things unnecessarily. I think part of that is, having that light, being that light. It doesn't mean that you're perfect by any means, but it means that you have a propensity to mirror things to other people. A lot of times, things that they don't want to see, things that they want to turn a blind eye to. And so when you heal, when move through life wanting to grow, wanting to heal, you end up, I guess, having that higher perspective. So the up part of the life is looking up, is not so much, optimism and positivity. It's having that higher perspective, that higher altitude to be able to see, the way that this person is treating me is a projection of their own insecurities. It's being able to see the patterns of structures and how they fail more so than just the person that's making an awful choice. I had learned the pattern but didn't have a name for it, for groupthink, a few months ago, where there are these, higher ups or these people of authority who believe a certain way about a person or a structure or a belief system. And because everybody is kind of trying to appease that authority or conform to it, everybody kind of goes along with it, no matter what's said, no matter what's done. And so when you have that higher perspective, you're able to see the patterns and acknowledge them. So, with the next episode being the spider and the lamps, I wanted to talk more about webs and light being shown on them. So webs aren't necessarily evil. It's the structure that is kind of intertwined in our system. And so I unfortunately have been kind of entangled in this web for over 3 years now, where, my character has been misconstrued, defamed. My reputation has been thrown in the mud. All of these various aspects of this web, essentially. But it loses its structure when you stop giving, into other people's narratives, other people's beliefs, just because they have, I guess, written a part for you. Doesn't mean you have to play that part. Doesn't mean that you have to give into the narratives that they have written for you, I guess. And so when you stop giving light to it, when you stop giving life to what they have written for you, things fall away. The structure falls away because it doesn't have anything breathing life into it. And so when you have this higher perspective, when you let God work in your life and you focus on your healing, focus on yourself, and you be truth, you be that mirror for other people, the structure loses its weight. It crumbles, essentially. So when things crumble, new things are able to be built on a stronger foundation. So with the light, with these lamps, I have come to find that having Jesus, having God in my life, fills that space with light, fills that space with this inner knowing, with this ability to see things for what they are, not for what they're projected at you. So when you're going through life, if you or say in a relationship where someone is constantly throwing things, in your face about what you're doing, what you're not doing, and it's not a constructive conversation. If things that you were discussing aren't a two-way street, there's no consideration. It's just constant criticism, I guess, for lack of a better term. Look at the projections that are being thrown at you, or these valid things that you can say that you're working on, that you can say you have genuinely discussed those and, you're working on it. Or are they projections from someone who is insecure, projections from someone who isn't happy with themselves, so they project all of their unhappiness as your fault? Seeing perspectives and patterns in the way that people are treated. Are these, systems and things that are going wrong, something that is singular, it's in, just one case? Or is it something that's a systemic pattern? When you lean into your faith, you are able to see the patterns. You're able to see how people connect and things connect. When you listen to your intuition, my best friend tells me all the time that I should stop second guessing my intuition because I'm almost always right. And it's not to be conceited, but my intuition is incredibly strong, even the strangest things. And I've come to find that the truth is often stranger than fiction. But God will send you the information that you need when you need it. God will send you the provisions that you need when you need it. So when you're going through life, I encourage you to look at what needs acknowledging. What are the truths that you are denying yourself? What are you going along with just because it's what everybody else believes? What are you turning a blind eye to and being complacent about? I was in a relationship where it was very narcissistic. And that's the thing with webs, is that they are unseen a lot of the time. And that's where they thrive. They thrive in the darkness. They thrive in things that are uncomfortable that people would rather turn a blind eye to. But when you are that light and you do call things out, you shine a light on the web and you're able to see it. You're able to clean it up. You're able to see the structures. You're able to see what is entwined. When life starts looking up, it's not necessarily because it improves. It's because you no longer need permission. You no longer need the conditioning to stick with things that don't serve you. Stick with things that are not benefiting you or other people. So, yeah.